Hello! Welcome back to my world, my channel. If you haven't been here before, welcome. And if you have, thanks for watching again. So today I'm talking about whether you should take a gap year. Essentially my answer is, you'll find out. So I took a gap year. I took a gap year in 2013. So I finished high school in 2012, and then after that I booted on off and decided to take a gap year. To be honest, I don't really know where my thirst to go on a gap year came from, like my desire to go on a gap year essentially came from. I remember what happened was this company came into my school and spoke to us about this gap year program that they had, where they send you off to the UK for a year, and they like station you at a school, and you can essentially work at the school as like a teacher's aide. And for me, I was like, wow, that sounds so cool. Like, that's not something I really would have thought of, but I really love traveling. It's been instilled in me since I was younger, so I thought, maybe I should just apply and take the plunge. I would say I didn't really think like too much about it. I definitely planned out and was like, okay, well, I'm a year young for my year level. I'm going to graduate when I'm 17. So I do have the option to really like use an extra year to gain some life experiences. I just knew, like, the one thing I knew I didn't want to do was go take a gap year aimlessly. So I decided to do it with a structured program, and I thought that would really work the best for me because I'm a person who kind of likes routine. So that's like a short kind of glimpse at my gap year and why I took the gap year. But I'm going to talk more about like why I think you should do a gap year, and if you're going to do it, the one main thing that I really think is important that you do before going on a gap year. So my first reason why I think everybody should take a gap year if you have the opportunity is because it's a really great mental break from essentially school. I think school is, if you are able to be privileged enough to go to school, is what you will go to for almost 13 years of your life, starting from the age of like 5 until you're 18. So when you finish high school, you know, you're expected to go to university, you go to college, even after university, expected to just go to work. And sometimes, you know, people, well, not sometimes, more than often, people don't know what they want to do, or they just need some time to really think about who they are as a person and what else they can achieve in life. So I think that taking a gap year is a really good mental break to really start with a clean slate, learn more about yourself before you dive into such a big life journey. It may be university, it may be work, it may be taking on some other journey that's not either or. And I think that's completely fine, and I think it's something that is just really amazing for your mindset. Coming off that, I think that you don't get many opportunities in life to take a gap year, and to be able to have the opportunity to go on a gap year is something that is so unique and such a privilege essentially. So if you can take a gap year, I think there's never really a right time. If you're afraid to go on a gap year, there's never really a right time to just say, hey, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do it. So I think that the most important thing to do is try and find that little slice in your life where you actually, you know, can plan it out and be like, okay, if I don't go to university next year, I can take a gap year. It doesn't set me behind. It'll give me all these other experiences that will make up for that time that I lose maybe going to freshman year or first year uni with your friends. And more than that as well, like when it comes to work, taking gap year before you go to work or taking gap year between work is really important. But to be honest, the more you commit to things, the harder it gets timing wise to really find that free time for a whole year to take a break and, you know, do what you want. So I definitely think it's really important to prioritize finding the time to go and really just going for it and jumping at it, because you really, I don't think, will regret it. I personally think my gap year gave me so much perspective, not only on the world, but myself, and really understanding who I was. I think before I went on my gap year, I was 17, fresh out of high school, quite young, immature, didn't really, you know, I was independent, but I didn't really think I ever was given the opportunity to really seize that independence, like outside of like traveling with my family, or, you know, in school, you're always kind of, to a degree, spoon-fed things throughout life. So it was a really good opportunity for me to just pave my path to what I wanted to do and dictate every experience I had. And I think that's such a unique thing to go through, because you learn so many life skills from traveling, living overseas, living by yourself, learning about a new culture. You are just in a situation where you have to either sink or swim. And I think that's the really exciting thing about it, is that it gives you so much new perspective, and you can carry that forward into every aspect of your life. I think I have carried that through into every aspect of my life completely. Like up until now, my gap year and everything that I learned on it, and all the things I learned about myself have gotten me to where I am now, and it will definitely impact the rest of your life. So I was brought up in a household where, you know, from probably the day I was born, I was living with international students in my household, and they became like brothers to me. And you know, there were students going to school, and it was just such a normal thing to have all these different cultures surrounding me. And I think our parents really instilled in us from a young age to really learn from the world, learn from traveling, learn from meeting people, learn from eating food. Just learning about other people's cultures is so important, because there's so much you can so much new perspective that you can gain from really interacting with people and opening yourself up to new opportunities and cultures. So I think that my gap year, I went to England and I worked there for a year. And I think even though I was in England, which is, you know, also an English speaking country, and it is not too different from Australia, there is just so much that I was able to learn from being in an international school with international students, living with people that I had never met before from different countries. It was just an unreal experience, and it was something that really helped me learn how to interact with people. And it's so important in life, as you go into work, as you go into university, make friends, find your partner in life. It's so important that you are able to, you know, open yourself up and understand different people, so that you can really, I guess, live your best life. So I think that going on a gap year, it really exposes you to a whole new world of cultures, of people, and just environments. And I think it's so important to always feel a little bit uncomfortable at some point in your life, because it gives you that ability to really grow beyond what you've always known. And I think essentially in life, for me, I feel like I live to be able to learn, and I live to be able to gain knowledge and better myself every day. So I think if you can have an opportunity that allows you to do that, why not? So my one tip before you go on a gap year is to really make sure you have a plan of exactly what you want to do. I think, and if you don't want to plan, then choose an option like I did, where it was a structured option. You know, I knew I was going to go and work in England. I knew I was going to be placed in a school and be placed with people. Like, all those little things were taken away from me to have to plan out. I had to just get myself there and just be excited about the journey I was going to take on. But I think if you want to take a gap year because you don't know what you want to do, I think it's so important that you maybe either work for a period of time, you save your money, then you can go travel. You work for a period of time, save your money, and you start like a new initiative or I don't know, venture that you want to do. You don't have to travel. I don't think that's what you have to do, but I definitely think that you shouldn't spend your whole year just working in whatever you used to work in if it's not where you want to be in the long term. Because I think I know quite a lot of people who took a gap year and were like, oh, I'm just gonna like work, but they didn't know what they wanted to do with their gap year. They didn't have any structure. And I think at the end of the day, you just need to find something that you're interested in, no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be your career goal at the end. It just can be like, oh, I'm gonna spend a year learning more about photography, gonna take some photography courses, gonna travel around to try and improve my photography and things like that. You know, baking, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be your lifelong career goal, but I think it really should be something that you do that helps you improve yourself as a person. Okay, so yes, I really think you should definitely go on a gap year. If you ever get the opportunity, what a unique opportunity. And I think that if you can save up some pennies for it, get some sort of funding. There's like, I went and actually my program structure was that I got compensated like money, like £100 a week, and I also was living and working at the school and got the meals there and stuff like that. So it's actually a really good program if you don't have that much money. Like, I think I saved up like 5,000 Australian dollars before I went. And when I was there, I didn't have to spend that much money day to day. But then for traveling, I would just save up my money and then budget and go. And you can really budget travel. Like, for instance in Europe. So there are so many programs you can do if you want to have like a really structured one and you don't want to plan too much. If you don't want to do that, there's so much you can do. Like you can go and work in England for a year, you can go work in America for a year and do things. You can just go and take a graduate program there and not have to work. You can do so many things in a gap year, but I just think the most important thing is to have some sort of goal that you want to reach in the end, if that's personal goal or skill, studies, travel goals. It doesn't matter. Like I just think you should have a goal so that you feel at the end you've achieved something and don't fall into a slump of, oh, I took a gap year and actually I didn't do what I wanted to do, so I'll just continue like not having a direction. So yeah, for me, I think that my gap year was, like as I said, absolutely amazing, and I would do it again. I would get my kids to do it. I think it's just, if you really are wanting to do it, it's a really good opportunity, and you'll literally never regret it. So just the last thing, I mean, you can make amazing friends from my gap year. I have amazing friends from my gap year that I still keep in contact with. One of my friends is getting married soon and I might go to their wedding next year. So there is just so many opportunities for lifelong impact from a gap year. So I really think you should definitely do a gap year. Alright, so thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did and you made it to the end, please give it a thumbs up and press the subscribe button and the bell so you get the notification. Thanks, guys. Hope you go on a gap year.